Hyper here from the Hyper and welcome back to Gran Turismo 5. Gran Turismo 7. I mean, why did I say Gran Turismo 5? I'm mixing up every one of my intros. Okay. On this one, we are driving a 1960 something, let's say 1964, maybe 1965. I think it's 1965 Mini Cooper S. The old school Mini Cooper, and I have painted it in the Mr. Bean color. It is in looks like Mr. Bean car from the old Mr. Bean film movies back in the day. Voiced by Rowan Atkinson. And now I'm here driving the car in Gran Turismo 7. I almost messed myself up there. This thing only has 4 gears, obviously, as you had in 1960. Not without any people. So, I don't know. But if I was driving these, I would be one, I would be incredibly happy. It would feel very weird to me. And also, I would probably sit there for an hour and a half trying to figure out all the controls. Now, this car runs on now the modernized version of this runs on a front-mounted inline 4 engine, making I don't know how many horsepower. While this had a rear engine, little tiny engine at the back, which is about the same size as the Volkswagen Boxer engine. But it had more power than the Boxer engine. So when you put your foot down, you can, you could go along and just like bob it along like it should be. Or you can go ahead and poke it like a stick and hope that, and then put your foot down and then let it give you not that much power actually. It doesn't actually accelerate that fast. It doesn't accelerate that fast as like a Ford GT or a Ford Mustang GT or say like a Lexus RCX. It's nothing like those cars. Like, I mean, I would look at this and be like, oh, that's nice, I like it, it's classic. And then I would look at a Lexus and be like, that's modernized, but it's more luxury and it's better. And it's got a more powerful engine because it runs on V6. Unless you get an RCF version, like the F Sport edition, then you got a big giant, naturally aspirated V8. Anyway, I'm going to concentrate on driving now. I'd say the person who has never actually driven a car and doesn't have a license higher out. But maybe one day, maybe one day. Now, if you were to buy one of these in the country of New Zealand or say UK, this would possibly be about like 30 $33,000 in New Zealand money. In England, in the UK, it would possibly be about like £50,000, maybe. Probably not 50,000. Probably like 100, like 115,000, 1,500, 15 quid in the UK. Maybe less, maybe more than 15 quid. I mean, if you're going to buy a Rolls Royce here, it's expensive. And if you're going to buy like an old school, say, 1971 Rolls Royce Corniche, or 1975 Rolls Royce Phantom, you'll be paying quite a lot of pounds in the UK for that, and you'll be paying quite a lot of dollars in New Zealand and America and whatever country you're in. You could pay less for that, more poorly designed Yugoslavian Yugo. Now those cars, obviously, everybody knows they were absolutely trash. They would fall apart. Every part of them would build that. From the engine to the doors to the craftsmanship to the gearbox to everything. This is British design. This was made by Aston. Not Aston. This was made by Austin. Austin Mini back in the day. Austin Mini made these cars, and then obviously today they are quintessentially German now because BMW have taken over. Same as Rolls Royce now, and possibly Bentley. The Germans have taken over most of those brands. So most of like the British and American brands have been taken over by the Japanese, and the British brands have been taken over by Europe of the Germans. So, yeah. Now, this thing has been an icon from, say, I think, I'm gonna guess, from the 60s all the way to the mid-2000s, and it's still an icon today. Many had been making for years, and that goes to Mazda. Mazda has also been making cars for ages, and so has Ford. Because Ford has been making, I think, since 1903, I think. What was the year that Ford started making cars?
June 1903.
1903. So Ford had made cars 422 years. And the first car was the Ford Model T, which was made from 1903 until 1929. So it didn't go on for that long. As for Minis, as for Volkswagens, I don't know if I can. You know, I'm just going to say the original person who made it, not the coincidental person who also partnered with them, because everyone knows his name, he wouldn't have been a good person. So I'm not going to say his name, don't get me trouble. Anyway, Volkswagens, if you date those back, those are basically in the early days before Porsches were even a thing. That's what Porsches were based on. The Volkswagen Beetle, or known as the Volkswagen 1200, was made by Ferdinand Porsche. and it could only do, say, 109 kph. Or in German metric system, that's 109 miles per hour. So that's about 209. And for a little tiny boxer engine, that for a car that runs on an air-cooled boxer engine, that's quite good actually. Out of a 4-geared car from 1930 onto 1966 and onwards to 2002 onward now, but nowadays powered by a different engine. I can't remember what they're actually powered by now. But they can run on turbo. Back in the day, they didn't have those ones. Come on, get up the hill, Minnie. Yeah, the engine doesn't really have that much power to go up road, to go up hills. But once you're in a straight line, you can actually let it go. And now it's rolling down the hill. So I'm gonna actually have to try stop it now. Okay, stop. Handbrake. And hill start. Clutch. And accelerator. And then into gear. I gave it too much. I gave it too much bridge. Hang on. Oh, we are really going on. 109. Now, see, if I go back to the settings and I take all of the upgrades that I have put on this car, I haven't done anything to, I mean, I do gearbox, but they're taking the gearbox away, so it's not using the normal synchronizable, the customizable, just non-clutch gearbox. Cause look, I can go doink and boink. I can put a fully customizable racing gearbox in there. I can put the whole entire thing up here to 800, to the top speed of 800. Now, I don't think it will make that. So I'm going to set it top speed to 150 kph. And now if I put all these to the standard thing, say that to normal, and then I put the suspension to normal. That is now the height it's meant to be. And now if I got no turbocharger in it, if I take that out and put the normal air cleaner in, and I put the normal silencer in, the normal muffler and the normal engine, well, it's already got the normal exhaust board, put the normal brake system in, the normal brake pads, the normal gearbox, and handbrake, and that shall be fine. Everything else, I don't think I can take it. Now I shall measure that, and maximum power is 72 brake horsepower. Out of this many, 72 brake horsepower. Now let's see what that actually does. 72 brake horsepower. Engine. Let's go, come on. 72 brake horsepower. Yep, this is what the engine is like, just standard. It's like this, but obviously I have the auto braking system on, so let's take this off so it feels like a regular old school car. So counter steering, take that off, everything else, take that off, and then let's just drive it like a normal regular car. Stop it. Yeah, the brakes weren't exactly good in the 60s. But, oh well. You didn't have power steering. Yes. Power steering was not the same. Like you could look, like if this was real, I could just go. I would be battling that. Because this is not real, I could do it right along.
can leave that on if you want. Just 10 o'clock slide out.
somebody got a problem, somebody that nobody wanted to know them. You're never gonna make it. I know. I get proof. That's why I simply don't let me down, let me down.